Guess we're going to see it on those two archers coming in now, and yeah, let's see what happens. But I would say you need to be a strong shooter now. You need to be good technical to win this match.
Well, this is how it works here in the compound competition. Each competitor shoots 3 arrows in 5 ends, a total of 15 arrows at a distance of 50 meters, and it all comes down to the highest point total. In case of a tie, though, a single arrow will be shot by each archer, and the closest to the center wins the match. And of course, we did see that this morning in the quarterfinals in the very first match, which featured one of the young ladies we'll be seeing right now in the semifinals. Of course, this is Christie Colin. Christie ranked 10th in the world and a 6th seed coming in here, being coached by Rio Wild, who we'll see momentarily. And this is Vida Halimian of Iran, who did win the shoot-off this morning with Laura Longo, and what was one of, I guess you could say, is an upset.
Yeah, if you look at the paper, you should expect Albina Longo to win that one. But then again, it's still a sport. It's still the one that gets the last arrow in the middle. That's what counts. But yeah, that was surprising.
A little bit surprising, yeah. Although a real credit to Vida Halimian, who's 23 years old, came in ranked 11th in the world into these World Cup finals. Of course, she, along with Mahtab Parsamir, are the first 2 Iranian athletes to compete in the World Cup finals. So an honor for her to have reached the semis against Christie Colin of the United States, who reached the semis by defeating Mahtab Parsamir by 22 points. So Christie Colin to shoot first.
Looks strong. Good, nice, strong shot from Christie there.
So Christie Colin starting off with a 9 in this first end. Alternating shooters and an 8.
Yeah, I think there you got a little bit of the wind.
So each archer will try to adjust a little bit more, and that time low.
It's all right, Christie. Good shot.
But still a 9 for Christie Colin. And just outside that center ring, so a 9 for Halimian. Christie Colin with the early 1-point lead, and that one apparently on the line. So 3 9s for Christie Colin in the first end. And it appears to be a 9, or are they going to call it an 8?
I think it's an 8.
So it appears to be an 8 for Halimian. And so Christie Colin apparently has taken the early lead. Christie Colin, of course, on that women's gold medal squad in Shanghai, where the Americans defeated Russia 227 to 214. Most of her medals have come in team competition. She won 2 team gold medals at stage 3 in Ogden, 2 team gold medals at stage 2 in Antalya, Turkey, and a mixed team gold medal at the first stage in Croatia. She also, just a little while ago, won the mixed team gold medal here, competing with Roger Willett Jr.
Yeah, exactly. There was some nice shooting going on there. Although they were a little bit under pressure from the Turkish team, they shot their chance pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, they made things interesting, didn't they, Torben?
They did very. But I would like to say that we must remember that all the archers that are competing here, they all deserve to stand out there today. And they're all good shots, so
they earned their way here. No question about that. So Halimian down by 2 after the first end. And a 9 for Christie Colin on her first shot of the second end. And a little wide right that time for Halimian, opening the door and giving an opportunity to Christie Colin. Christie just inside for a 9.
Good bow arm.
And there you go, the first 10 of the match. And a strong finish to that end for Vida Halimian of Iran. And the strong shot that you heard Rio Wild in the background talking about.
Still 2 points.
So
it's so important when you shoot in under these conditions that you're really, like Rio says, a strong shot, that you keep your bow arm straight and you keep it strong up there, and And you do your techniques well, because if you get a little bit sloppy on your techniques in the wind, it'll be hot on you. It'll come hot down. That's when you see the 8s, and early on we saw a 7 too, and that is just when you get a little bit sloppy on it.
And in compound, when you're shooting at 50 meters, it is tough when you're off just a little bit. There's not much room for error, is there?
No, there's not. There's not. Just the slightest mistake, and you get either the arrow will fly out of it or you'll aim out of it.
So here is Vida Halimian, who defeated second seed Laura Longo of Italy in a shoot-off this morning in the quarterfinals to earn her way into the semifinals, representing Iran. Dead center.
That's a nice
Great shot.
Put it in the middle.
So Christie Colin, who grabbed a 2-point lead after the first end, held it through the second end with her first shot of the third end, and it's a 9.
Lots of low arrows, Christie. You only have one above center.
And Halimian, apparently, let's see, they're going to score it an 8. As a dark cloud passed overhead for just a moment. Opportunity for Christie Colin, and she's just outside the 10 ring.
That shot, I think, deserved a better score than a 9. That was nice. That was also nice.
Good shot by Halimian, who's coming up strong here in this third end, and trying to put a little more pressure on Christie Colin, who jumped off to that early lead. Christie with 3 9s in that end.
What's your better height that time?
And she gives up a point. So we've got ourselves a close one in this first semifinal match.
That's the one that's closest to even being.
That's nice. When we got here for competition, we like it to see it close, because when they split off too early, well, I think it's more exciting when they get quite evil all the way up.
We like a little suspense and a little drama to our archery action, don't we, Torben?
Much nicer.
So the Iranian contingent trying to cheer on Vida Halimian, as Christie Colin trying to stay calm and composed with a 1-point advantage heading into the fourth end. She went up by 2 early, stayed up by 2 after the first end, and then gave up a point in the third end as Halimian fired a pair of bullseyes. Intense concentration pays off with a 10.
We got another one. Nice shooting.
You get into a rhythm, a little bit of a groove, don't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You find it, and the body starts feeling the same tension every time, and you're getting there.
All right.
8.
It's all right.
You could see on Christie's face there, she knew it before, even before the arrow hit the target, that she wasn't satisfied about that one.
That changes the complexion of things a little bit, but an 8 by Halimian. So it's a bit of a wash right there.
Yeah.
And Christie responds with a 10.
Nice
Finally, she got it.
Nice comeback.
So the 9 to close out the fourth end for Vida Halimian of Iran. And it's on the line, so it should be an 8. Are they?
That's an 8-liner.
That's what I thought, an 8 right there. And so the plot thickens just a little bit after 4 ends of this first semifinal match in the women's compound competition at the World Cup Finals here in beautiful Istanbul on a picture postcard afternoon. And after 4 ends, it is still they're tied at 107 apiece. So 107 points as Halimian won that end by 1 point, picked up a point. And so we're back to where we essentially started at the beginning of the match.
That's perfect.
You like it this way, huh?
Yeah, let's keep the pressure on the archers. They feel alive out there now, and that's good. That's what we're here for.
I'm sure they do. An existential experience.
Oh, yeah.
As you head to the 5th and final end in this semifinal match. Of course, These two archers vying for the opportunity to face the winner of the next match between Marcella Tonioli and Erika Anschutz. And there's a 10 for Christie Colin to get things started.
Nice in the middle.
Throws down the gauntlet for Halimian, and Halimian with an 8.
We still get that tricky wind going on out here. It is changing from side to side. You saw it before in the round before where Christie shot an 8 on the right side, and I'm very sure that it was the wind that pushed it out there.
It's all right.
And as I was talking with Brady Ellison this morning on the broadcast, it can change that wind and the weather from shot to shot, can't it?
Oh yeah, it does. It even changes, sometimes it even changes during one shot. You can feel the wind coming from the left side and turning to the right, and then all of a sudden when your shot goes off, it's back on the left side.
And Christie Colin may have just wrapped it up there with 2 10s. In the final end, she scores 29 points and an 8. Or excuse me, it's actually a 7.
Yeah.
A 7 for Vida Halimian. And so Christie Colin comes up strong in the 5th and final end. Gives her coach, Rio Wild, a big hug, big wave to the crowd, and Christie Colin moving on as she comes up very strong, outscoring her opponent by 5 points in the 5th and final end to win by 5 points. It was anybody's match going to those final 3 arrows, and it was Christie Colin's experience down the stretch that may have been the difference, Torben.
Exactly. And what I like to say about this match is that in the beginning we talked about that strong shooting, and I think that was one of the things, if not the thing, that made the huge difference in this match, that Christie just shoots stronger than the Iranian girl. And you saw that the Iranian girl had some arrows dropping a little bit too